everyone. This is Dr. Anushka Reddy Murray, and I am the Director and Medical Officer for ThinkRoman Healthcare. Today, we have Dr. Ashish Bansal, who is President of ThinkRoman Care, with us today. Hello, Dr. Bansal. Welcome. Can you tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
Hello, Dr. Anushka. Thank you, first of all, for having me on board. I'm Dr. Ashish. I'm working as specialist psychiatrist, and I am in this field for a while. So, if you ask me specifically, the domains I'm working with or I am interested in working with are few, for example, the mental health, youth mental health, sexual wellness, substance addictions. So these are the specializations where I have my core interest in working and I'm seeing the patients.
Okay. So, through this platform, what are some of the things that you want to address? Will these be related to your interests?
So Dr. Anushka, as I have mentioned that I have special focus towards the youth mental health, and we already know that demographics have been changing. So there have been a lot of transition which is happening in everyone's life in at each phase. We maybe from school children to the adolescent, adolescent to the youth, and youth to the family responsibilities. So definitely, and at each transition, we have acknowledged that there are certain problems or certain issues which are coming up and which are popping up. So we need to tackle those. So my focus is to currently help the individuals in those transitions to help them think clear, to help them think better, to make them reflect that what is going to be good for them, what is going to be bad for them, and if I can be of any help to them in these decisions, that's like what I'm looking forward to.
Okay, so to emphasize on some of the things that you said, I just have two questions that I'd like you to answer so that the audience knows better, especially about what are the things that we want to tackle with this platform.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to start off with a very common thing that youngsters are facing. So the cultural differences that someone faces while transitioning from a college student, from the role of a college student to a job holder, in terms of maybe the increased demand, time management or ownership of responsibilities or deadlines, is this is huge. So what are some suggestions that you have for people that are going through this transition in their lives?
Exactly, you have pointed it very clearly. That is the major milestone where there is a lot of transition happening, and where you are coming from the cocoon of the family's uplifting and upbringing to something where you are making your own name and have those responsibilities by yourself. So, when you are doing that, definitely you don't know how to tackle things. That is very stressful situation, and it is for everyone. So, the everyone resilience is not same. There are some vulnerability factors. So, during these transitions, it has been found that most of the people, to help out or to cope up with the stress, they move towards substance use, they move towards something bad hobbies, some lifestyle habits. So basically the one thing which we need to understand is, and which we need to clear about, is to have the good coping strategies, because the coping mechanisms are those which help us in transitioning from one phase to another. Now the coping mechanisms can again be, someone can have a good coping mechanism, someone can have a bad coping mechanisms. Also, there's a lot of
Yeah.
I would say the family is also shaping it somehow, because now we have seen that the family focus have been shifting to the nuclear ones from the joint families as it used to happen in the past. So again, there is no one to communicate with, there is no one to share things with. Whenever you are under pressure, you want to go and discuss with your colleagues, with your peers. The field is so competitive that you are afraid to go and discuss with them, that if I'll confide in them, will they listen to me or will they use me? So that is the problem the youth is facing, and that is the problem that where we are having these troubles in the transition. So I think we need to focus on those coping mechanisms. We need to understand how to cope the stress better, because stress is going to be there. If it is something related to responsibility, if it is something related to the transition, it is going to be there for throughout your life. The transition phases will be different, but the stress is going to be there. So we need to copy, we need to adapt it, and we need to adapt it in a good coping way.
Yeah, rightly said. I also personally went through that phase, and
Mm-hmm.
though I did not fall, I did not have a lot of peers around me, so I did not fall into a lot of
Yes,
negative
yes,
things.
yes.
But
As
then
you
I did
can,
have a good family support system,
yes, yes.
uh,
So as you have
as really
mentioned, there's a
important.
lot of competition these days, and I think that is where you feel there is lack of trust among the peers, that there is lack of trust among the colleagues. Everyone is on a competitive edge. Everyone wants to get the results. Everyone wants to
Yeah,
get better than the others. So you might have to understand that the competition is good in a way, but if it is affecting your health, if it is affecting your mental capacity, then you have to stop and look at yourself, that what are you looking forward to, what are you thinking, what are your goals
yeah,
in the life, what are you aiming for. So I think that is the thing where everyone needs to take a pause and make a list, that what is more important, the competition or the family, the salaries or the health, the mental
mm,
peace or the working pressure. So that is what
mm.
everyone have to take a pause for a while in between, and they should reflect back that what they want to focus on or what they want to achieve in life.
Rightly said. And I think we will be coming up with videos following up and discussing in depth about these coping mechanisms and how to deal with the transition. So,
Yes.
another important thing that is not really addressed as much or not really spoken to is. Is about relationships. We know that people are changing, perceptions are changing, and it is no secret that Indian families are slowly accepting the concept of their kids being in relationships. It is also no secret that if whatever age a person is in,
Hmm.
every relationship would take that time and effort. So, what advice do you have for youngsters entering into this phase of their lives? What are the few things that they can do to not deviate from their professional growth while also maintaining the relationships in their lives?
So, Dr. Anushka, as you rightly mentioned, there have been lot of relationship issues which are popping out. Now, if you see
Mm-hmm.
that the parents have somehow accepted the fact that the children are evolving, the society is evolving, and so they have to make themselves comfortable with this fact. But at one point where they are
Yeah,
not comfortable with is that my daughter or my son, he or she is still too naive to think about that what will be good for them, what will be bad for them. So the advice is that the
yeah,
parents have to trust their children. They have to understand that if they have given them the responsibilities for earning for the family, for doing the jobs personally, then they should also start having some trust in their relationship decisions. At the same time,
yeah,
when we discuss about the youth, that the relationship troubles they are facing, and one thing you asked, that how to maintain a difference between a relationship and a work life. So that answers your question basically, that you need to maintain a balance between the two. You cannot compromise one for another. And as
yeah,
you have there, I feel like that for any relationship to work, there are three things which have to be which are the bedrock pillars for any relationship. The first is the respect. So respect among each other, respect for your peers, respect for your better half, respect for your fiance, respect for your boyfriend or girlfriend. Don't just uh, take them that they are going to be with you forever. I mean, definitely, if your relationship or your commitment is so strong that you think like that, but that does not give you the permission to disrespect the person. So you should have that
true.
respect every time. Or, for example, the few couples got married, they are in the love first and then they got married. And when you see the relation and when you ask them what changes, so they say that initially he used to do things for me. Initially she used to cook for me. So there was a respect among the couple or among the members, but gradually that respect fades away. So you have to understand that you cannot take someone for granted. So
Yeah.
when you are started making them that we are in a committed relationship now nothing can go wrong, that is where you start losing each other's respect, and then this is where you start making some bad comments against each other. You start making some brownie points against each other. So you have to understand that respect is the foremost and the most important thing to sustain any relationship. The second factor is the trust. So definitely it cannot be built over a day, but again, give yourself time, give your partner some time so that you can trust each other. You can trust each other with each other's decision. You should have
Yeah.
that trust that if someone is taking a decision on your behalf, you should trust it completely that he or she is doing for my good will, for my good faith, or he or she has something good for me in their mind rather than doubting their decisions. So that trust has to be established. And the third and foremost key we all know is the communication. Okay. So communicate. Don't assume. What happens when I'm seeing most of the couples is that he hasn't talked to me, so I feel that he's seeing someone else. Okay, she hasn't cooked for
Oh,
me, so I feel that there is something else is going on. So you see, they are presuming.
yeah.
Um, she doesn't pick my phone on the while she's in office, but when she calls me back, she doesn't answer me properly. So uh, when she has to go out with her colleagues for a party or a hangout, you don't allow her. You don't trust her enough. You don't communicate enough. She doesn't tell you beforehand. She just tells you. The person lets you know just 5 minutes before hanging out with the friends that I'll be late. So if you have the pre-plans, if you have something in mind, communicate with each other. So I think that summarizes it up. Three factors to maintain for any healthy good relationship: respect, trust, and communication.
Trust and communication. Okay, on that note, uh, thank you, Dr. Bansal. This was just a brief discussion into what Think Roman and Urzu TV wants to address with your help. We are going to have many more conversations. And if any of you have any questions for Dr. Bansal to answer, you can write to us at hr@thinkroman.com or fill the Google form that will be attached to the description. The email ID will also be mentioned in the description. So thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Bansal. We will keep coming back and addressing the audience's questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Anushka. Thank you for having me here. Thank you.